The topic of whether or not the SEC is required to pay the statutory interest is brought up by Fred Ripple in the event that Ripple is successful in their legal battle on every front. A precedent for the manner in which sanctions are administered in other cases could be established as a result of the potential monetary impact on the Securities and Exchange Commission. An unusual topic was posed by Fred Ripple, a well-known member of the legal industry, in a tweet that was sent out not too long ago. This issue generated a heated debate among securities lawyers in the wider cryptocurrency community. The current legal struggle that is taking place between the United States Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) and Ripple, the firm that is responsible for the cryptocurrency known as XRP, is the primary focus of the inquiry that is being carried out by Ripple. Because it is the primary focus of the investigation. In this regard, the following inquiry concerns to the possibility that the Securities and Exchange Commission will lodge an appeal against Ripple. In the event that Ripple files an appeal and wins against the SEC on every issue, with the exception of returning the $125 million penalty to Ripple, is the SEC compelled to pay statutory interest on the amount that was returned to Ripple. Take a look at the potential monetary repercussions that could befall the SEC in the event that Ripple is successful in their appeal. Ripple was required to pay a penalty of $125 million, and in addition to that, they must return the penalty. Ripple should be questioned about the possibility of the SEC being obliged to pay statutory interest in the event that an appeal was launched against the company and Ripple was successful in all aspects of the case. At the same time, Ripple expressed doubts about the possibility of an appeal being lodged against Ripple. To be more specific, this question is especially significant since it covers the potential financial implications that could be borne by the SEC in the event that Ripple is successful in the appeals process. One of the most highly observed things in the Bitcoin industry has been the ongoing legal struggle between the Securities and Exchange Commission, USIF, and Ripple. This battle has been going on for quite some time since it began. In the initial action that the Securities and Exchange Commission initiated against the firm, Ripple was accused of making an unregistered securities offering through the sale of XRP currency. This was the only action that was taken against the company. Ripple has continually refuted the charges, arguing that XRP should not be classified as a security. Ripple has maintained this position throughout the entire process. On the other side, Kit EF had previously reported that Ripple's primary counsel, Stuart Alderati, had stated that the categorization of XRP as a non-securities will not change even if the SEC files an appeal against the most recent court verdict. They further stated that this classification will remain unchanged. This ruling, which was made by Judge Analyst Saturis and created a key precedent in the cryptocurrency business, came to the conclusion that secondary sales of XRP do not qualify as securities. There have been 1,700 non-disclosure agreements signed by the company with a variety of financial institutions. These agreements make it possible for the company to transfer XRP to counterparties in a wide variety of commercial transactions. In an earlier statement, it was reported that a professor at Yale Law School by the name of Alan Schwartz reviewed all 1,700 contracts and offered a summary of them for the court. The company signed the contracts between the years 2013 and 2020. The time period included those years. The current price of XRP is roughly $5,922, which represents a reduction of 0.20 over the course of the last 24 hours during which it was trading. Furthermore, since the ruling was handed down on August 7th, the daily trading volume for XRP has been valued at more than $1 billion. A sense of expectancy has been created among investors as a result of the SEC's lack of communication. It has been decided that the next meeting of the Securities and Exchange Commission will take place behind closed doors on August 29th. There are rumors that the Securities and Exchange Commission would talk about its appeal strategy during this conference, but it is possible that it will wait until the very last moment for any official action to be taken. Stuart Alderati, the chief legal officer of Ripple, voiced his concerns about the likely unreasonable behavior of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) in relation to cryptocurrency disputes during a meeting that took place not too long ago. A lawyer named Fred Ripple, who is an advocate for Bitcoin, has stated that there is a 50-50 chance that an appeal will be initiated. It is clear from this that the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) is eager to solve the problem of the secondary market, which is critical to the SEC's enforcement activities. Despite the fact that the SEC appeal is not entirely apparent, Ripple has conducted a substantial amount of research on the subject and is looking for clarification. In the event that Ripple is successful in appealing the verdict, the question of whether or not the SEC would pay interest on the $125 billion penalty is being considered. Let us take a moment to listen to a question concerning the scope of statutory interest. During a recent post on X, Fred Rispoli made a request for further clarification about the topic of whether or not the SEC would be required to pay statutory interest on the return of the $125 billion penalty in the event that Ripple prevails in an appeal on all fronts except for the return of the penalty. To gain an answer to the question of whether or not the Securities and Exchange Commission will refund Ripple for the penalty amount and pay interest for the damage that it caused to the firm and its native token XRP, this inquiry was directed with the securities attorneys. The goal of this inquiry was to obtain an answer to the question. As you can see, the following inquiry regards to the chance of an appeal being launched against Ripple by the Securities and Exchange Commission in the event that Ripple emerges victorious. When Ripple files an appeal and wins against the Securities and Exchange Commission, say C on every issue, with the exception of returning the $125 million penalty to Ripple, is the SEC compelled to pay statutory interest on that amount. The reactions of the market for XRP. There is a significant relationship between the developments in the complaint brought by the SEC against Ripple and the movements of the XRP market during this time period. The choice to not appeal could bring the price of XRP closer to $1 over time, but the potential of appealing to the SEC could bring the price of XRP down to $0.04 in addition to the chance of appealing. As a result of recent verdicts, the price of XRP has already suffered substantial changes. On July 13, 2023, the price went from $4,696.00 to $0.93, according to the technical indicators that are now accessible. On the other side, XRP continues to be higher above both the 50-day and 200-day exponential moving averages, which shows that a bullish trend is occurring. It is probable that the most recent high of $6,312 will be put to the test if there is a move in the direction of $0.06, with $6,609 being one of the possible points of resistance. On the other hand, a loss that is less than 5 cents may result in a reduction near the exponential moving average for the past 50 days, and a further decline may indicate a trend reversal. On the Relative Strength Index, XRP has a score of 51.90, which indicates that it is in a position to test resistance levels before perhaps entering territory that is excessively bullish. In order for investors to successfully navigate the potential ramifications on the price trajectory of XRP, they need to remain watchful for any new developments about the appeal from the SEC and adjust their strategy accordingly. It's possible that a lot of people may find Ripple's most recent success to be overwhelming, yet, in the days ahead, all of the gaps and odds will be cleaned up with its victory. Against the Securities and Exchange Commission X. In a recent announcement, Fruition Production, a film and game studio based in Los Angeles, stated that they are currently in the process of creating a documentary on XRP and intend to release it in November. This announcement comes after XRP, which marked a significant milestone for the cryptocurrency industry, is going to be the subject of a documentary. Approximately 1 or 2 weeks prior to the launch of the actual product, it is planned that a new trailer will be made accessible to the public. According to the corporation, the idea was put into action after a comprehensive investigation was carried out. Additionally, the business claimed that the documentary would chronicle the journey of XRP from the time it was initially introduced to the present day. This journey will begin with the introduction of XRP. It has been stated by Fruition Production that Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and his executive team will not be included in the documentary. Not only did executives from Fruition and Ripple decline to take part in the production, but they also declined to participate. On the other side, the business asserted that it had conducted an interview with David Schwartz, who is the Chief Technology Officer of Ripple. It is with a great deal of excitement that we convey the news that we expect to debut XRP on Lashed In the month of November. During the course of our research, we have looked into this matter, and at the moment, we are working on something that will allow us to distribute it on our own.